A summer morning on Wimbledon Common. It was the 15th of July, 1992. London was basking in summer warmth and Wimbledon Common was buzzing with life. Joggers, dog walkers, families. It was the sort of place where people felt at ease and the idea of danger seemed unthinkable. Among these, enjoying the morning sunshine, was 23-year-old Rachel Nickell, a young mother who had chosen the Common for her daily walk with her 2-year-old son Alex and their dog. For Rachel, it was routine, something she did countless times, but this day would end in unimaginable horror. Who was Rachel Nickell? Rachel was described by her friends as beautiful, kind, and full of energy. She had trained as a model, but her life revolved around her partner, Andre, and their young son. Andre later said that Rachel was the kind of mother who was happiest down on the floor playing with Alex, or outside in the fresh air exploring nature with him. She was gentle, loving, and lived for her family. On that morning, Rachel set out with Alex and the family dog, walking along a path that wound its way into a more secluded part of the Common. She probably expected nothing more than a pleasant stroll, but someone was watching her. The attack. At some point on that path, Rachel was ambushed. The attack was frenzied, brutal, and completely unprovoked. She was stabbed over 40 times, an assault so violent it shocked even the most experienced homicide detectives. Her young son, barely 2 years old, was left splattered with blood, traumatized beyond comprehension. Witnesses later recalled seeing a man running from the Common, but the details were vague. The killer had vanished into the city. When another walker found Rachel's body, Alex was still clinging onto her, trying to wake her up. This detail, a toddler left by his mother's side, covered in her blood, would haunt everyone who heard it. The media quickly descended, and the case became front-page news all across the UK. Who could do something so barbaric in broad daylight, in a busy public place? The investigation begins. From the very start, detectives faced enormous pressure. This was no ordinary crime. The brutality of the attack, combined with the presence of a child witness, turned the case into a national obsession. Police questioned thousands of people. They appealed to the public for tips for anyone who had seen anything unusual that morning. Before long, their attention turned to a man named Colin Stagg. He was in his 20s, unemployed, and often walked his dog on the Common. He was awkward, quiet, and something about him struck investigators as different. In a case starved of leads, Stagg became the focus. The honey trap. With no physical evidence, police devised an elaborate undercover sting operation. An officer, codenamed Lizzie James, posed as a woman interested in Stagg. She struck up conversations, pushing him to reveal violent fantasies, trying to coax out a confession. Stagg went along with some of her suggestions, trying to impress her, but he never admitted to killing Rachel. Still, detectives were convinced. In 1993, Colin Stagg was charged with Rachel's murder. The press painted him as a twisted loner, and his name became synonymous with the crime. When the case went to trial in 1994, however, the judge threw it out. The operation, he said, was entrapment. There was no real evidence linking Stagg to the murder. He was acquitted, but his life was ruined. He had been branded a killer, and for years, suspicion clung to him. Meanwhile, Rachel's family were left devastated. Not only had they lost Rachel, but they had no justice.
I need to and must set the record straight with regard to Colin Stagg. In August 1993, he was wrongly accused of Rachel's murder. It is clear that he is completely innocent of any involvement in that case. And I today apologise to him for the mistakes that were made in the early 1990s.
A case gone cold. For over a decade, the case remained unsolved. Advances in DNA science slowly transformed the world of forensics, but for Rachel's family, each year without answers was agony. Alex, the little boy who had witnessed the aftermath, grew up without his mother, scarred by memories he could barely understand. Her husband, Andre, eventually left the UK with his son, desperate to escape the media circus and give his son some semblance of a normal life. The real killer. In 2002, new forensic testing changed everything. DNA recovered from Rachel's clothing identified a new suspect, Robert Napper. Napper's history was chilling. He had already been convicted for the murder of 27-year-old Samantha Bissett and her 4-year-old daughter Jasmine back in 1993. That crime had been unimaginably brutal, and it bore disturbing similarities to Rachel's killing. Napper had long struggled with severe mental illness and paranoia. He was known to police, linked to numerous sexual assaults across London, but somehow managed to slip through the cracks. In 2008, Napper finally admitted responsibility for Rachel's death. He pleaded guilty to manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility. It had taken 16 years for the truth to finally come out. Aftermath. The case left a trail of devastation. Rachel's family never recovered from their loss. Colin Stagg, though eventually awarded compensation, lived under suspicion for years, his life destroyed by false accusations, and the public was left grappling with a painful truth. A vulnerable young mother had been brutally murdered, not only by a killer, but by a system that failed her at every turn.